This is the long-awaited video from Dad. Let's take a look. So this is about 14-minute video. I'm going to try to make it as tight as possible. So we're going to go over what the origin of budget came from. Your degree is just an investment in a project. That's really all it is. I'm going to give you this little unique perspective and then show you how to track it all. Let's go. So budget comes from the French word baguette, meaning leather bag. This dude is H.H. Asquith. He was one of the first guys to propose budgets back in 1885. He would stand up in a room full of suits and predict the future. And then he would say he's going to open the budget. And he would open this bag and then tell people what he thinks something's going to cost. What are those things? Small projects like the Panama Canal or Ellis Island or the Hoover Dam. But creating a budget takes imagination. It's storytelling, and that's where Dad can help. So, yeah, he must have looked like a wizard of some kind in these early days. Like, who is this dude that gets up and predicts the future with this crystal ball? So budget is just giving yourself parameters and working within those boundaries. It's like Parkinson's law. Work expands to fill the time allotted for its completion. Like if there's congestion on the roads and there's a lot of traffic and the roads are widened to accommodate that traffic, what happens is traffic just fills up those roads. I mean, that's just kind of how life works. So if people give themselves 4 years to get their degree, they will use every year, every minute of those years. If they give themselves 6 years, they will use all 6 years to get that degree. In your case, you're doing it in a nice tight 2 years, nice and concise. So why a budget? It prevents you from over leveraging and becoming upside down. For example, remember Rachel from Inventing Anna? She had that $50K charge on her Amex card, and it caused her to freak out for like 4 episodes. She was freaking out because she was upside down. And that's what a budget will help mitigate. And you, my little angel, have saved like a squirrel. You know we're super proud of you for doing this. I just wanted to say, take a moment, congratulate yourself on what you did. I think you're in the top 1% of your age group to be able to do that. So I'm giving you this Genius of Warren Buffett award. This is a token. Way to go, girl. Own it. Look at the doggy. So your degree is an investment in a project. I say just an investment. I don't mean, in a negative way. It's just it's what it is. So any new venture, think about it. If it's a movie, if it's a concert of some kind, or if it's a degree at University of Florida, it's a project. It's a little startup. Like these guys, I picked Blair Witch Project because we lived in Orlando at this time. I know the filmmakers, they originally spent about what you're going to spend on your degree, and they ended up with a nice little profit margin here. Not saying you're going to make 250 million, but let's be realistic about your numbers. If you're going to spend 50 grand on education, we know someone in that position will earn somewhere between 75 and 100K per year. So in 10 years, you're looking at $1 million in revenue. So all of a sudden, your 50 grand debt is not looking too bad. So yeah, age 22 to 32, you're going to pretty much, you should be in the free and clear at that time. So we all hear about the young grads who suddenly freak out because they realize how much debt they have and become depressed and anxious and hate their colleges for being so expensive. I'm just showing you this is the kind of the macro view of that take. Yeah, you're going to have stock, you're going to have other investments, retirement funds, Bitcoin, real estate. You're going to have many more projects in the future. So just be mindful of that. So visualize your goal. Seeing is believing. This is what we do in movies. I thought it would apply here. The main character usually wants one thing, but most of the time this want is a feeling. And these feelings, like this, are not very visual. So in this case, this is the actor on stage in a theater. Here's the audience. He or she trying to portray a feeling. And the audiences sometimes they won't get it if it's just a feeling. So what is often done is we attach some type of image that everyone can see in their mind, and that makes the connection. So for example, Indiana Jones, he wanted to prove there's more to life than what science can explain. That's not very tangible. So what do? Ark of the Covenant, that's what he's after. So that's a visual we have during the whole story of we know what he wants. Same thing with Frodo and Lord of the Rings. He wanted to be able to trust his own instincts, that he's a virtuous person with common sense and a good heart. That's a mouthful, right? How about we just say he's going after a ring? in Mulan, the movie your dad worked on, Mulan was after Shan Yu's sword the whole time. She thought that would bring honor to her father. But remember at the end, remember what he did with that fucking sword at the end? He tossed that thing aside and he gave her a big hug. This was like a literal, the filmmakers were showing us, in kind of a, wink wink notion here that you don't really need the object. It's all about the feeling. So this brings us to like, what's your visual? What is, we know it, yeah, it's going to be a degree, but really the feeling that you're going for behind that degree is something like this. So that's something to keep in mind. The numbers, let's get to the budget. What will it take to get this degree in your hands? We already know about $50K. You have saved $30K. I kept having to change this number because you kept saving. But think of the money you have in two buckets. Like this is your big capital you've saved, and then there's going to be the loans. This is money in, money out. So just keep this in mind. That's what you're leveraging. You're leveraging other people's money, basically. I mean, and that is the American dream. That's what Facebook, Google, Tesla, Uber, that's what you're doing essentially. So think of 2024. Just project yourself into the future. It's you've finished your degree. You've got a job offer in Colorado at this equestrian foundation, but it calls for you to move to this ranch. That's so cool. You'll be doing some very important work with these big animals, but you don't want to be broke at this point. So, you'll need money for security, first, last, whatever, in your downtown apartment in Colorado. So just keep in mind, you might be smart to put away $5K right now. Call it your finished $5K fund or whatever. That means your capital now just came down to $25K, but that's okay. That's what you have to work with. Let's split it in half, roughly $12K per year. Now, remember our old budget guy. What we want to do is look at your year in front of you as quarters, like, divide and conquer. Keep like a football game. There's 4 quarters in a game. Same thing with these spreadsheets. This is one I found. I wanted to find the perfect spreadsheet that has nesting capabilities over here. I'm going to show you that in a second. But look at this. 4 quarters of a football game. You just keep everything nice and organized over here. This will give you peace of mind. So you can concentrate on your work and your studies. And it honestly, oh my gosh, look at the little baby. So, okay, now we're going to get into the spreadsheet. This is something you'll get to understand as you work on it, but I just wanted to give you the high level, top level stuff. So what I did, Bridge, is in this column, I put everything, the whole year. Now, it should be doled out over the quarters, like I explained, but just for simplicity, I took your housing, what it's going to take to keep your car going, food, travel, phone, subscriptions, furniture, tutoring, supplies. So if you're looking at this, you're going to say, oh my God, Tom, Dad, that turned into $22K for the first year, and I only have $12K. How am I going to bridge this gap? And the answer is that money in, money out. The fact that you save this, Bridge, you're going to have every bank available that's going to want to lend you money. And that's not an easy thing to say at your age. So just keep that in mind. So let me jump into the spreadsheet and show you a little bit about that. Okay, so look at the nesting bridge. Watch this. Click here, and it unleashes all these other columns. So Gator Hammocks apartment, 12 months, 900 a month. All these should be moved over in under the right quarters. Like I told you, the second quarter. This would be under the third quarter, and then this would be under the last quarter. That's the way it should look, Bridge. But what I did is just collapsed everything into one neat column just for the sake of this budget. So car maintenance, everything you need for car would be in this category. Your car payment, gas, oil change. So yeah, Toyota Vero Beach, maybe you're paying $200 a month for the whole year. And then we have insurance monthly. We have gas estimates. This is just estimates. You can probably narrow this down better than me. But that's what I got for a total. This is what we'll have to do. Just predict what you'll spend this year. This is food. Hopefully you'll get a pass to the cafeteria for one solid lump sum. You could probably live just on the cafeteria food, but I was realistic and I put in like $25 a week for extra coffee and stuff you'll have at your apartment. But you can see, you can always whittle down these numbers if you need to. Okay, but this nesting thing is so cool. Watch, tutor for education. Let's say it's January, February, you're fine. You don't need a tutor, but those finals are coming up in March. So you spent some money on a tutor. Make sure you ace that test. Same thing, April, May, nothing, but maybe in June, you're going to need that extra money for a tutor. It's good to plan. You know, it's just kind of like having an insurance policy here for your exams. But that's smart. Think about what kind of tutoring money you'll need. I think I totaled it at $200 here. So yeah, this is not the last video you'll get from me. This is, or your mother. We are very proud of you. And we know you're going to succeed. Look, this is the actual tears that came out of my face. Oh, it's so sad, so sad. So yes, go forth, set the world on fire, my dear. You're gonna do awesome. There I go with the sadness, but we know you're gonna do great, babe.